Builder halts 10 projects amid Taiwan housing slump. Yunlin student overcomes hardship to attend NTU economics. Deadly rafting accident in Yilan sparks negligence allegations. Trump's travel ban on 12 countries takes effect. U.S. China set for trade talks in London. Explosion at U.S. airbase in southern Japan. Prince William calls for global action to save oceans. Xbox reveals handheld console.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Tuesday, June 10th, World Pet Memorial Day, and here are your top stories. In local news, Taiwan's housing market slump deepens as a major Taoyuan builder holds 10 construction sites, citing financial trouble. 8 projects are residential, mostly urban renewal cases. 2 are public sector contracts. The slowdown follows strict lending curbs and reports of builder bankruptcies in Hualien and Chiayi. A top Yunlin student admitted to NTU economics nearly gave up due to financial stress. Public support helped him choose NTU over a local university, inspiring many online. He had considered staying closer to home to ease his family's burden. His story sparked discussion about financial struggles even among top students. A rafting accident on Yilan's unknown river left 1 dead and 5 injured after a raft carrying 9 people capsized. Victims' families blamed the operator for negligence. Authorities suspended rafting activities. The raft was reportedly punctured by sharp objects like bamboo poles. And in global news, 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Somalia, and Yemen, will be barred from entering the United States after a Trump administration executive order went into effect. While 7 more countries face significant visa restrictions, the international reaction on the ban's first day has been muted. President Donald Trump said the ban, which primarily targets countries in Africa and the Middle East, is necessary to preserve national security and prevent terrorism in the U.S.
A similar policy during Trump's first term, which barred foreigners from 6 Muslim-majority countries from entering the U.S., was reversed by then-President Joe Biden. On the campaign trail, Trump promised he would revive the ban. Refugee advocates said that months before the travel ban was announced, it had already sparked panic among Afghans who were promised visas for their work with the U.S. military. Refugee advocacy groups appealed to the administration to make an exception for tens of thousands of Afghans who have received or are due to receive special immigrant visas for their work for the U.S. military or the U.S. Embassy during the 20-year U.S. war in Afghanistan.
Senior U.S. and Chinese officials will meet in London on Monday in an effort to de-escalate the bitter trade dispute between the world's 2 biggest economies that has roiled the global economy, with China's restrictions on critical minerals high on the agenda. The United Kingdom is providing a venue for the discussions but will not be involved directly, and the exact time and location of the meeting remain unknown. The effects of the U.S.-China trade rift are already apparent.
China reported a 34.5% decrease in exports to the United States, the biggest drop since February 2020, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. Investors were relieved last month when U.S. and Chinese representatives meeting in Geneva said they had reached a preliminary agreement to suspend most of the tit-for-tat tariffs they had imposed on each other's goods, which had reached as high as 145%. But in recent weeks, both countries have accused each other of violating the agreement. The new round of talks comes 4 days after President Donald Trump and China's Xi Jinping held a lengthy phone call that Trump said focused mostly on trade. Stocks in Asia were up on Monday ahead of the talks.
An explosion at a storage site for unexploded ordnances at a U.S. military base on Japan's southern island of Okinawa injured 4 Japanese soldiers. The 4 soldiers sustained finger injuries while working at a facility that belongs to Okinawa Prefecture and temporarily stores unexploded ordnance, mostly from wartime and found on the island. One of the harshest battles of World War II was fought on Okinawa. Prefectural officials said the injuries were not life-threatening, but no other details were immediately known.
The U.S. Air Force said the explosion occurred inside the facility managed by the Okinawa prefectural government at Kadena Air Base's munitions storage area. No U.S. service members were involved in the incident. The Self-Defense Forces Joint Staff said that while the soldiers were inspecting the ordnance at the facility, one of them suddenly exploded as they were trying to remove rust to examine its details. Hundreds of tons of unexploded wartime bombs, many of them dropped by the U.S. military, remain buried around Japan and are sometimes dug up at construction sites and elsewhere. Many of them are still found on Okinawa, where about 1,856 tons of unexploded U.S. bombs are believed to remain.
The third UN Ocean Conference opens on Monday, with Britain's Prince William among those raising pressure on nations to turn decades of promises into real protection for the sea. According to the nonprofit Marine Conservation Institute, the summit comes as just 2.7% of the ocean is effectively protected from destructive extractive activities. That is far below the target agreed under the 30x30 pledge to conserve 30% of land and sea by 2030.
We come together today, united by our deep connection to the ocean and our concern for its safety.
Atop this year's agenda is the ratification of the High Seas Treaty. Adopted in 2023, the treaty would, for the first time, allow nations to establish marine protected areas in international waters, which cover nearly two-thirds of the ocean and are largely ungoverned. Speaking ahead of the conference, Britain's Prince William said that rising sea temperatures, plastic pollution, and overfishing were putting pressure on fragile ecosystems and the people who depend on them. He said, "What once seemed an abundant resource is diminishing before our eyes." He described the challenge as being like none we have faced before.
Microsoft has finally revealed its highly anticipated handheld console years after it was first rumored. The ROG Xbox Li will let gamers access their Game Pass subscription library on the go, effectively meaning members will start with hundreds of games. It is being made in partnership with Asus, which has been making handheld gaming devices since 2023, and will be released at the end of 2025, though its price is still unknown. Microsoft's announcement comes just 3 days after the launch of the Switch 2.
Speculation about Microsoft making a handheld Xbox has been widespread for more than a decade, with the company starting and scrapping various efforts over the years. Much like its predecessor, the Switch 2 is a hybrid gaming device, meaning it can be played both on the go and connected to a TV. Its success likely inspired the design of Valve's Steam Deck, a handheld PC that gives gamers access to their entire library of titles purchased through the game distribution service Steam. Though not all games work on the device. Microsoft may be accused of being slightly late to the game since rivals already exist, but the benefit of native support for Game Pass will likely address many concerns for its 34 million subscribers.
The answer for yesterday was B, breaking point. After working nonstop for 48 hours, she finally reached her breaking point and had to take rest. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. U.S.-China set for trade talks in London. Number 1, preliminary. 初步的, 预备的. The team held a preliminary meeting before the official conference started. Number 2, tit for tat. 牙还牙，针锋相对. The two companies engaged in a tit-for-tat price war, each lowering prices after the other. Number 3, rift. 裂痕，分歧不合. There was a rift between the two friends after their argument. Next, we have a multiple-choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. World Pet Memorial Day is a heartfelt occasion dedicated to honoring the cherished pets that have left paw prints on our hearts. It's a day to remember our furry companions who brought joy, comfort, and unconditional love into our lives. This day provides solace and a sense of community to those grieving the loss of a pet. It acknowledges that mourning a pet is a profound experience, validating the deep emotions involved. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host, and I will see you next time.